Did you know that there is more than one type of fat on your body? And that the type of fat and the location of it is going to determine how hard it is for you to get rid of it and how dangerous it is for you to have it. So you can look thin on the outside, but still be dangerously fat on the inside, and you can't even see it. Holding on to this type of fat will lead to heart and liver disease, definitely metabolic disorders, and even cancer. And I don't mean may lead to, I mean will lead to. Hey there, my name is Terrell and I am one of the coaches here at Beyond 40, and I have helped thousands of people in the last 20 years ditch their stubborn fat, get healthy, and transform their lives. When people come to me and their biggest struggle is with that belly fat, they are over it, they are frustrated, they have tried absolutely everything and they know that it's unhealthy, but truly they just want to feel better, they want to look good in their clothes, and they are ready for it to be gone permanently, because we've seen it over and over. You lose a few pounds, you gain a few pounds plus what I call interest. So you lose a little, gain a lot back. So I just want you to know that it's not as hard as you think to lose it permanently, and you can begin seeing results right away. So I have 3 easy solutions for you today, and at the very end I have 4 foods that you need to stay away from no matter what. Also, I am going to link our most successful nutrition plan into the description below so you don't try to figure this stuff out all by yourself. So what is visceral fat, and why is it the most dangerous kind of fat? Well, visceral fat is different from like regular fat. It's actually called subcutaneous fat. We just kind of call it regular fat. Anyway, visceral fat is deep inside your belly, and it's surrounding all of your organs, your kidney, your liver, your intestine. It even likes to find its way to your heart, and that is very, very dangerous. And unlike subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that we see, and like Arnold says, if it jiggles, it's fat, but not visceral fat. Visceral fat is very dense and it is not jiggly at all. Subcutaneous fat, super jiggly. We hate seeing it. We're always trying to get rid of it. As soon as it's gone, we look better in our clothes and everything else. Well, visceral fat's job is to protect your organs from impact, from temperature, and especially from anything that may leak out of your gut during digestion. And that actually happens more often than you think. And this is super great, and we definitely need that. The problem is that we have way too much, we continue to accumulate it, and it's very, very inflammatory. Plus, it produces the dangerous kind of estrogen in men and in women. So it creates inflammation all in there just because of the fat. Then it passes that inflammation off to the organs that it is surrounding, and it causes sickness and it causes disease. It is literally shuttling inflammation off to your liver, which causes you to have, well, obviously an inflamed liver, but also this is one of the main causes of non-alcoholic fatty liver, which is a huge problem in our society today. So we need to get rid of this immediately, and I would love you to first take on a nutrition plan that controls your insulin levels. And no, it doesn't have to be keto. That has actually been proven to have its own set of problems. However, it is a great in the short term, and it can give you a pretty good kickstart in getting those insulin levels down. But you can also choose a low carb, high protein diet, which is beautiful and a little bit easier to follow. But we at Beyond 40 here, we love carb cycling and nutrient pairing because it's so easy and you never have to eliminate entire food groups from your diet. So here's how it looks just real quick. So look at your meal that you have prepared. Find your macros, your protein, your carbs, and your fats. Look at where your protein is. Does your protein have fat in it? Either have fat in it naturally, or did you cook with fat? So just make that decision first. If that protein has fat, it is going to determine what you eat with it, okay? So if that protein has fat, anything that you eat with it can have fat. So if you wanted to roast your vegetables in olive oil or put a little cheese on top of something, you are good to go. If that is a low-fat protein, now you can go ahead and add a carb to it. A good, healthy carb, I'm talking rice or a baked potato, a sweet potato. Just don't put any butter or oil on them. Salt and pepper them. Some of my best clients love to put salsa on their baked potatoes. They think this is the absolute best, and I'm not gonna lie, it does taste pretty good. Just quick review, protein, if it has fat, you can have fat with your vegetables and your side dishes. If protein does not have fat, go ahead and put the carbs in there. Just leave the fat out. Now next, I do want you to get some exercise. I really, really do want you to get exercise, but mostly I want you to use resistance training. I want you to build up that muscle, because muscle is so metabolic that you're gonna actually burn more energy or use more energy, which is your fat, each day without even changing anything if you don't want to, except the amount of muscle on your frame. That is so important. But what is the real double down effect of exercise on visceral fat especially is the circulation effect of it. Because what it does, because of where your visceral fat is located, there's a lot more circulation in there during exercise, and that is going to help activate those fat cells and remove it from that area, which is such a big deal. The circulation effect of exercise is huge, especially for visceral fat. Okay, one last thing before we dig in to those 4 foods I want you to avoid at all costs if you want to get rid of that visceral fat, or if you just want to like never have it start accumulating, and that is adding intermittent fasting into your diet. And I love this. Intermittent fasting has been shown over and over and over again to be the most beneficial and the super quick at eliminating body fat. Now, it needs to be done very, very specifically, because there is a lot of things that go into intermittent fasting. And as we get older, our hormonal situation inside of us is very different than when we were young. So when you're young, those super long 18, 20-hour fast days, easy, no big deal. But when we are older, it can lead to a lot of hormonal problems if we extend our fast that long. But don't worry, because those long fasts are fantastic and have a lot of benefit. But I do have a little trick to simulate it without messing us all up hormonally. I am 52 years old. I am very specific about my fasting. So men, I want you to go 16 hours, and women, I want you to go 14 hours overnight. Here's a trick. I want you to pick a time every single day that you start your fast in the evening and you end your fast in the morning. There are tons of apps out there that are going to set a little reminder for you. You can just set a little alarm on your phone. Just stick to these very specific times. Your body loves fasting, and it is going to slip into it. You're going to increase your growth hormone. You're going to burn tons of fat. You're going to sleep better. So many benefits to fasting, right? But if you're just doing random eating, so you're trying to just not eat for 14 or 16 or 18 hours a day, and it's at a different time starting and stopping every single day, your body has no idea what's going on. And so it's more likely to slip into an emergency situation than into fasting mode. And fasting is so beneficial, and the more we stick to this schedule, the quicker your body is going to jump into fasting mode. Now, for the trick to kind of simulate that extra long fast is this. Do not snack in between your meals. I want you to have 3 of them. So you're going to eat your breakfast, you're going to have a lunch, and you're going to have a dinner. In between there, which is going to be about 4 hours, women, you can probably go a little bit longer because you have a couple of hours extra to eat in. Now, it takes your body about 2.5 hours to run through all the energy. Unless you're insulin resistant, it can take a little bit longer. But it takes your body about 2.5 hours to run through all the energy that you consumed in a meal. So when you have 4 hours in between your meals, you have an hour and a half that your body's gonna have to figure out where it's gonna get its energy from. Because you still need to be able to walk around, you still need to breathe, you still need to do all the processes inside your body. Even if you're sleeping, you still need to do it, and your body's gonna need energy to get that done. So it's gonna have to use that stored energy, which is your fat, which is awesome. So in order to kind of trick our bodies into getting those extra long fasts while we maintain our intact hormonal environment, since we're over 40, we're going to eat, and then we're not going to snack, and then we're going to eat, and then we're not going to snack, and then we're going to eat, and then we're going to have that nice long overnight fast. This is beautiful. It is amazing, and I will tell you this, it is one of the staples of my life. Even when the past, you have times in your life when you kind of go off the rails a little bit. This very specific fasting protocol makes it very easy to not gain any weight, even if you're not eating your best. Now, there was a study that came out of Sydney that specifically addressed visceral fat with fasting. And here's what they found. And it also is another good reason to not do extra long fasts. Your visceral fat actually adapted to a eating, not eating fasting protocol. So they eat one day, not the next, eat one day, not the next, alternate day eating. Their visceral fat actually adapted to it. So on the days you didn't eat, of course, it let the fat go. But on the days that you did eat, their visceral fat took in more of that fat energy storage, than anywhere else on their body because they were willing to let the visceral fat go. But since it knew it was going to go, it knew it needed to recover quicker. So the body actually turned on a mechanism to make that fat go straight to the visceral fat when they were eating on their off days. So to me, that is absolutely incredible. So do not overfast because your body's going to figure it out. And it wants to keep fat around your organs because, like I said before, it is protecting it. Even if right now it's overly protected, it does think it's protecting. We are wired to protect those organs. So do not overfast so it doesn't figure it out and so you don't have more fat storage in your gut. I love this. It is so crazy to me, right? Your body is so smart. It's meant to survive and it's definitely going to do it. Okay, as promised, here are the 4 foods we need to absolutely avoid if we want to get rid of our visceral fat and if we just want to make it not ever start to accumulate. So the first one is hydrogenated oils, especially soybean oil. These are your trans fats. Get rid of them. Read every single label. They are in everything. Look for anything that says hydrogenated and then whatever. Do not eat it. These are the worst things, and that is going to lead me into this. Ultra-processed foods. That's number 2. What happens when we ultra-process the foods is that we break them down so much and we turn them into other things. Our body is just able to quickly absorb the sugars and the fats, which zooms up our insulin, causing all kinds of other insulin resistance problems, but it also wreaks havoc on our guts. And I'm telling you what, these super processed foods are everywhere. So just take them out of your diet. If you are not eating a protein, a carb, or a vegetable, just take it out. It doesn't need to be in there, and this is one of the easiest ways to begin to recover from the storage of visceral fat is just letting these things go. Now, number 3 is fructose. And I know we've been told, like, if we want to go on a low carb diet, we can't have fruit. It's not the fruit that's a problem. If you're just eating one piece of fruit, that fruit has fiber, it has enzymes, it has everything in it for your body to be able to naturally take care of it. Yes, it has fructose, and yes, that will be processed in your liver, which is the problem with fructose, especially if you have a lot of visceral fat because you're already causing that inflammation in your liver and you're already beginning to get a fatty liver. So fructose is a very, very difficult thing to keep out. But, so fruit, okay. Fruit juice, no, that is just the worst part of the fruit and you take out the good part. So fruit juice is one of the worst offenders that seems healthy for fructose. Okay, also, of course, we want to avoid high fructose corn syrup. And I'm going to add this in here is that I'd like you to avoid putting fruit in your smoothies. I know it tastes good. I know it's a healthy thing to do, but when you process it, when you blend it all up, you're already helping your body go through the digestion process. So it's super easy for your body to just quickly absorb that fructose, and that's what we want to avoid, that fructose going right to our liver to be metabolized, okay? Now, the last one is not going to make me very popular because this is a huge thing, and it is beer. Everybody loves beer because we love to do things outside, we love to watch sports, and that all involves beer. But beer in and of itself will make you put on visceral fat. It actually just prefers to store it there from beer, the way we metabolize the alcohol, the hops, everything in that beer. It is just going to put on visceral fat, period. So when you're choosing to have a drink, just switch out the beer and try to keep your drinks to 5 or under a week. Just because of the way we metabolize alcohol, it is very damaging to our liver. And again, with that visceral fat, we've already done liver damage, okay? So 5 or less, switch it out for red wine, switch it out for a clear liquor like vodka and soda. And sometimes just making this little switch is gonna make a huge, huge difference. So there you have it. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna link our hormone reset diet into the description because if you need help, we wanna be there to help you. You can also drop any questions that you have into the comments, and I'm also going to link to you a video about insulin resistance symptoms because these all go hand in hand together, and if you have insulin resistance, we're going to have trouble getting the sugars out of our blood anyway. So check out the insulin resistance, check out the over 40 hormone reset diet if you need some help with your meal planning, and feel free to drop any questions that you have into the comments. I love to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.